Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, my name is Ibrahim Abaji. I'm back with another tutorial. In this tutorial, I just want to give you a quick view of Windows 10, Microsoft Windows 10, how to move around the desktop interface, because Windows 10 is a bit complex compared to previous operating systems like Windows 7, Windows 8 or Windows 8.1. Okay, so the first thing I would like to do, I'm just gonna show you random stuff in Windows 10. One important thing is the search bar. The search bar here, anything you want to search in your operating system here, if you type it, it's gonna pop up here, and this is the start button here. So as you can see, if I come back to the search button, if I want to go on to the command prompt, I can just type in cmd command prompt, then press the enter, tap the enter. Now it will take me there. I'll come back to the command prompt in a bit because I'm gonna show you how to clean a drive in the command prompt using commands in the DOS. Okay, in the search button as well, if you want to open up applications like Microsoft Word, Excel database, or even get to the control panel to uninstall program. In fact, let's go to the control panel. To go into the control panel, if you want to uninstall a program from Windows 10, you just type it up there. So control panel app, like you can see, just tap on enter. So once you get to this screen, you click on programs and features. So once you're here, I've got all the two applications installed here, Microsoft OneDrive and Microsoft Edge, which is installed by default. The new browsing for Microsoft is Microsoft Edge. It used to be Internet Explorer, so this is the new browser. I've got it updated anyway, but at the end of the installation, this is not the logo you have. So in this dialog box as well, you can do some more stuff. Like for example, you want to enable if your motherboard is capable of running hypervisor like Hyper-V or VMware or VirtualBox. You're gonna have to come here if you want to activate the hypervisor, which is the Hyper-V, Microsoft hypervisor. This is the place you click on, turn Windows features on or off. So if you click on this feature here, it's gonna pop up this dialog box. Like you can see here, if you press this plus sign here, that's the hypervisor, Hyper-V manager. So to activate this, you can check both this box. Then if you click on OK, it's gonna set it up, but you need to reboot your system for the changes to take effect. But I don't want to do that now. I've done that in one of my previous videos. So if you go back checking my videos, eventually you will see how to activate hypervisor or Hyper-V manager, to be specific. So I'm gonna cancel out here. If you want to access the network adapter settings, like you want to connect your system to the network by assigning a static IP address or setting it to grab a DHCP server address or from the router. If you look at the bottom right, just by the clock, there is a computer screen there. So if you click this, or if you want to click it, or if you click it, it will tell you if your system is connected to a network or not. I can just click it and click network on internet settings, but I like right clicking it. If you right click it, open network and internet settings. So if you open this here, if you look on the if you look on the left hand side, there is Ethernet there. If you click on this Ethernet, it opens up a dialog box. uh, on the right hand side it says network and sharing center. So if you click on this bit here, it will take you to this page. You click on change adapter settings. So this is the integrated network adapter I've got in my system. So to see the settings, I can just right click it. If you want, you can double click it and you will get here. Details will show you the current IP address, the network connectivity, IPv4, 6, DHCP, DNS, whether it's DHCP enabled like you see here. If it's not enabled, you will see no. If I close it out from here, you click on properties here, this takes you to this page here. So if you can see IPv4, IPv6. So if you double click on IPv4 or either click it and click on properties, so it takes you to this dialog box. Right now my computer is connected to my home Wi-Fi because it's set to work or to grab an IP address automatically from a DHCP server, which is my router at home, which acts like a DHCP server because it can issue out IP addresses to clients in the house. Okay, like you see, if it was static IP, you can just click use the following IP address. For example, you type in 19. For example, you type in 192.168.1.1. Then if you tap the tab key, it's gonna bring the subnet mask of class C by default. You can type in the default gateway, but I'm not gonna do this at the moment, just showing how to do that, just moving around the system. So I'm gonna cancel out here. Another important thing you can do is if you want to install a device driver, first of all, to check if all the drivers are installed in your computer, it's important to access it through this PC. There is many ways you can access it. All you need is to get to the Windows Explorer. This yellow folder here can get you there. This PC can get you there. And even clicking on the recycle bin can get you to the Windows Explorer. So if I click on this folder here, it's gonna take me to the Windows Explorer here. If I maximize it here, the Windows Explorer is here. So you need access to this PC if you cannot have it on the desktop. So if you right click it here and click on properties, what we are looking for is device manager. As you can see, I've got the new version of Windows 20H2. So if you have Windows 10, you must have been offered an update, an upgrade from the old version. I believe it's 1902 to the 20H2 version. I know some people don't like it, but I don't mind having this. It makes moving around a bit difficult, but once you get used to it, it's fine. So as you can see, if I move all the way down, you can see the device manager I was looking for. So if I click on device manager, this is where you can see all your hardware, if the drivers are all installed. Like you can see, if you have a driver that's not properly installed, like my HP printer, I've not installed it in this computer, but it's connected to this system, that's why it can detect it. So if I was to install this in here, I can just right click it and say update driver. Update driver, it's gonna pop up two options here. Search automatically the drivers here, and this one can even connect to the internet if you're connected to the internet to search the driver in the system. If not, it's gonna go onto the internet to search the driver. if the correct driver is installed, it's gonna tell you you've got the updated driver already installed. Or you can click on this option if you have the disk or the USB that comes with the device driver for the device, whether it's a printer or camera or you name it. So you can just click on browse here, click on this PC and browse if it's in the C drive, E drive, or some form of external storage. So you can see the computer, the display adapters all here. It's just a right click here on update the drivers. So most of the time Windows 10 you don't have to bother yourself looking for drivers compared to when days of Windows XP. Even Windows 7 was not bad. But when we started having Windows Vista, Windows 8, 8.1, and finally Windows 10, it's a bit easier to administer devices. Okay, if I close this bit here, just showing you the main places. Okay, to get on the documents, my documents, on the left hand side here is also important. So if you click on this PC, it will show you the capacity of the hard drive you have, how many hard drives you got in your system. Like you can see, I've got local disk drives, C colon. The capacity is, I've got 24.7 gigabyte free and 48.2 gigabyte. I've got 80 gigabyte in all for my drive. So I've got a USB as well, 16 gigabyte of USB. So documents is here. If you want to save some of your files, you can click on documents, they'll be here. And if you download any programs from the internet, by default it comes to the download folder here. Download folder here, so you can save your pictures here and videos here. Let me show you how to add a printer. Most people struggle. They don't know how to add a printer or to print from a printer. Okay, like I said, you can always type anything you want to do here. First point. Okay, if I type here like Microsoft Word, but I've not got Word installed, Office installed. So by default, I've got Notepad, I've got WordPad. So I'm gonna open up WordPad here to demonstrate how to add a printer. So once you get here, you've got a document typed here and you want to print it, you can click on File, Print. All the printers installed are here by default. You can see my HP, even though the driver is not properly installed, but you can see it's showing me that it's set as a default printer. So if I was to print, I can just check how many copies I want to print, how many pages by indicating the pages here. Or if I want to print the whole document, no matter how pages it is, how much. So then you put the copies here. This one pages, like I want to print pages 1 to 2 or 3 to 4, but this tells you how many copies you want from pages. So if you want to add another printer here, you can right click anywhere in this box here and click on add a printer. So by default it's gonna go around finding printers, but the best way to do is just say this printer isn't listed, so it's gonna give you more options for you to choose for yourself. If it was a network printer and you know the shared name, you just click on this box here and type the share name. The example is here. So if this share is on a server, you know when you access a server, you have to always put backslash the computer name backslash and the printer name, or you can do it like it's mentioned here. Another option is, if you know the IP address of that device in the network, you can check this box and click on next. Then you can indicate the device type, TCP or web service device, the port name. You can put the IP address here. Then if you click on next, it will start searching your printer. So I'm gonna close out from here. Another thing is, if you want to change to personalize your desktop, like changing icons or removing or adding more icons on the desktop here, you can right click on your desktop anywhere, personalize. So if you look on the left hand side here, this is for the background color, lock screen, themes. So if you click on the themes here, I'll move to the right, go all the way down, you will see desktop icons. So in the desktop icons here, let me minimize this. Like you can see here, if I click on control panel, network, or let's say computer recycle bin, I uncheck everything. If I click on apply, everything is disappeared except the edge, which comes by default. So if I want to bring back the computer, this PC, recycle bin, check them again, then click on apply, they're all back. They're all back now, then click on OK. So if I come back and again I say display settings, it has taken me to the same page again. So if I click on display here on the left, anything that's selected, you will see the blue color here indicating that that's the bit up on the right. Like if it's sound, you can see selected, notification action selected. But I'll go on to display here. If I move on to the right, if you have like a double screen setup, this is the place to come for the display. It will be shown here, multiple display. If it's not detected, you can click on detect, it's automatically detected. So depending on left or right your monitor, sometimes you can see that your mouse is flowing around, it's not moving from monitor to monitor, but it goes to the other side. If it goes to the edge, it comes to that other edge to come in, and that's really uncomfortable. So doing that, you will see two screens of desktop with numbers, could be like 112 or 1 something. I think that code is generated by default. So you can just click on one and just flick it behind or flick it back. Or if your desktop is not left and right sided, if it's like a two desktop, one is up and down, then you can flick them over up or down to arrange the desktops. If you want to adjust the font size, screen brightness, which can be done on the physical monitor itself, but you see you can also do some settings there. I'm gonna click on this. So with regards to the clock, if you want to change the clock, if you click on it, it will show you the current calendar on the time. But if you right click on it, it gives you the option to change the date. As you can see here, adjust date and time. So if you look at the time zone here, you can change it here. If you change, you need to change the time zone first of all, then after you can click on the date and time. You can set the time zone automatically off, but I've put it off. You can put it on, or you can set it up manually. So the region is here, you can change it. A region, it's advisable to change the region before you can change the time. Languages, you can change the keyboard layout here. Display, regional, speech, Cortana. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to format using the command line interface to format. For example, you've got a USB. Like you can see, I've got a USB inside. I've got a USB 16 gigabyte of my USB here. For example, I want to clean this disk. Sometimes if you clean it, the command prompt, it tells you the disk cannot be formatted. So I'm gonna go up here in the command prompt and type cmd. If I type cmd here, like you can see, the drive display is C colon. Okay. C colon. If I press E colon, it moves to the USB. The USB drive, which is the E drive. So if I press C colon, it goes back to it. Okay, if I want to use this part to clean this drive, my drive E, all I'm gonna do is type this part, disk space part, this part, UAC control, yes, asking for permission. So I've got this part here. The next command to type is list disk. List disk. You see, I've got a total of 2 disks. Disk 0 is my main C drive, and disk 1, like you can see, is 14 gigabyte, or I say 16, is 14 rather. So I would like to clean disk 1. How would I do this? The next is to say select or cell disk 1 and press enter. As you can see, disk 1 is now selected. The next command I'm going to do is to clean it. Clean, press enter. This part succeeded in cleaning this disk. So I'm going to click on exit. Exit again to leave the command prompt. If I refresh this page here, you see my disk says USB drive E. Like if I try to format this, it won't allow me to format it. Like you can see, it says unknown capacity, cannot see the disk. In case this happens to you, even without cleaning that disk, you see I can change. If you by default is FAT in formatting. So if you format a drive with FAT, you can transfer files up to a maximum of 4 gigabyte. But if you want to transfer more than 4 gig of data, you should always try and format with NTFS, Network File Systems. Okay, so I will try to format this. It won't allow me to format. If I click on start, giving me a warning, all data will be erased. But if I click on OK, it says Windows was unable to complete this formatting. So there is a way you can fix this problem. If you come to the search bar and type disk, you type computer management app. So once this dialog box pops up. Click on the disk management. So once it's loaded up, you see this is my C drive here, and this is my USB that I'm not able to format. So if I it says unallocated. If I right click on this bit, you have to create a simple volume. After creating a simple volume, if you go back to your drive and format it, it should work. So I'm going to create a simple volume. Click on next. I'm going to take the whole capacity. It has automatically selected drive D. It always picks the next drive available, or if you want, you can choose your own drive. I can click here and change it to any drive I want it to be. So I'm going to leave it as default and click on next. It's going to format this new volume here. Quick format, click on next. Finish. It's going to wait for it. So now if you can see, it says the drive is online. So you see the pop-up, see new volume D is now available. So I'm going to click on to place this page. If I go back to this PC, if you can see, my drive is now saying new volume D, and now I should be able to format it. The flash drive is working fine now. If I click on format, before even formatting, you can see the capacity of the drive. I can go back to formatting it back to 532, but I like using NTFS. You can give it a name here, but I'll leave it blank. Quick format. If you click on start, erase like before, and this time around it says the drive is in use, you see. But if you want to format it anyway, I would say yes here. So I'll wait for a few seconds for it to be formatted. You see, format completed. So this drive is all good, and I can open up the drive now. I can start saving anything I want to save in this drive. So if you have any problems with drives like flash drive or external drive, if you're unable to format it here, try to use the disk computer management tool and go up there, create a volume. Then if you come back here, you should be able to format it. So what else can I show you here? The same thing here. If you want to go on Windows Update to check if there are updates available, all you can do is type on check. If you check for updates, open it. So you see there's updates. If there's any updates available, they're pending here for you. So all you can do is, it's gonna always tell you what to do. If the updates were already downloaded, it's gonna tell you to install it now. If it's already been installed in the background, it will tell you to reboot your system. So I'm not gonna do that now because it's a newly installed PC. So Windows Update, yeah. Windows Security is down here. Windows Security is down here. Open Windows Security to do changes to your firewall. Windows Security. Okay, the next thing I would like to show you, if you want to set up your computer, for it to be accessible by somebody remotely to give you assistance. By default, Windows 10 by default is deactivated. Your remote, nobody can remote into your system until you allow that settings. Which is, if I open up this PC here, this PC, right click, properties. So if I come down here, so while you are here now, you can click on the advanced system settings here. It will take you to this dialog box here. So once you are in this dialog box, you can click on remote here. As you can see, allow remote assistant connections to this computer. Yes, is to allow, but remote desktop don't allow remote connection to this PC. But if you have to click on allow here and uncheck this, unless you want to allow connections from systems that has levels of authentication. I always uncheck this box because I don't want any issues. So you can click on this user and add some users here with permission to log on to this system. But by default, the administrator has access. You can use administrator, then the password of this system. This is my PC name, but I'm an administrator as well. So if I click on OK here, then cancel, close it here. I think that's all I've got to show you. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop here, and I hope you enjoyed this little tour of Windows 10, and hope to see you in another video. Thank you.